All right, all right. Feeney Talks with Friends, episode 169. What's up, Seth?
How you doing, man? What was my first one?
Episode 7.
Oh, so you've had... I like to say I got this thing going for you.
Yeah, you got the ball rolling. So I'd like to say, you know, that's in my third grade math, that's 162 episodes ago. I'd like to say I'd gotten better. I don't know. We'll have to see. But again, that was great. Yeah, you're my one and only podcast while wearing
a mask.
Yeah, we did this during COVID.
We were rolling.
It was November 17th of 2020.
You know, you really don't understand, you know, the great forearm workout until you serve an hour's worth of ice cream nonstop.
Yeah, definitely getting in there and scooping.
It is.
It's a nice little workout.
Exactly.
Definitely. Yeah, that's always a good time.
Yeah, we were rolling in the social distancing pre-vax phase.
Yeah. See how our table's this way? We were actually on the long end of the table during the 2020. So I can't thank you enough for coming back. You're a good friend. I'm very excited to talk with you.
Yeah.
It took 162 episodes to get you back, but you're here.
So how'd you find 162 people?
I got a lot of friends.
You
I
do.
don't know.
There are a lot of friends of Feeney.
Yes. No, it's so good. You are, I mean, you're here with me now, but you were just recently, where you've been on interviews at Good Morning America. And then you're talking with this schmo, Eric Feeney. How's that feel? What's that? Do you put the same pride and effort talking with me as you do with Good Morning America?
I dressed a little nicer for that, but you know, the cool thing is that, you know, so I had my second book come out in the fall, and it was on quarterbacks. And so I did a lot of media for that. And I think that when you're doing something like Good Morning America, the benefit is obviously, you're on with luminaries, and there's this huge audience, but in the same sense, they're like, you got a producer in your ear telling you to wrap it up, and the segment ends up being like 3 or 4 minutes, and it feels like it lasted like 45 seconds. And this is a little bit more relaxing and comfortable, and you're able to kind of go into a little bit more depth on stuff like this than you are in a segment like that. So look, there's pros and cons. Will Reeve called me the greatest living sports writer, so I expect no less from you. When Superman's son says that, it's a cool thing. But all the platforms are different, all the interviews are different, and each of them have unique and special moments throughout it.
Yeah, those were like certain questions, like that person asked a certain question already ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what question I'm going to ask.
I don't. Yeah, you've got me blind.
Are you ready?
My publicist didn't do a very good job of prepping me.
But I saw something hilarious too. Failed high school quarterback.
Yes.
To New York Times bestseller. How's that feel? Whose idea was that? Where'd that come up? Where'd you come up with that one?
Well, I it's hard to believe that there's actually a through line, but there is. But I want to say, so I grew up in Anchorage, Alaska, Boulder, Colorado, and Anchorage, Alaska. And when I want to say 11 or 12 years old, I'd never really been into football really, or even sports. I played basketball, but it was only because I watched the movie Teen Wolf. I was like, oh, I want to play. They're playing Michael J. Fox is playing basketball.
He was a baller too.
Yeah,
Teen
he
Wolf.
was. He
Teen
was.
Wolf could get buckets.
So I was like, I'm going to play basketball now. But I just got into football, and when I got into football, I got really into quarterbacking, and I just became, when I get into things, I tend to get really obsessed, maybe to the exclusion of being happy, but that's how I roll. And I wanted to be a quarterback, and I was one. I went to camps around the country. I was just obsessed in every way, shape, or form. And entering my junior year, I was trying to beat out a senior. And, I think I knew that, I think in some ways I had a chance. In other ways I didn't. But I got cut from varsity and put on JV, and that just wrecked me. And in retrospect, I should have been able to zoom out and understand, maybe why I was on JV. At the end of the day, the coaches thought I was going to get better only by playing, and I wasn't going to play on varsity. And he was a good player. And I mean, the quarterback before him was a Division I football player. He ended up playing in college. And so, these were some decent guys that I was competing against. And the coaches thought that I would improve the most by playing. But it was like my ego, my self-perception, who I thought I was. I just couldn't handle it. And so they moved me to receiver as a way of like almost saving face or staying on varsity. And in retrospect, I wish that I hadn't done that. But it was the type of thing that like I never, A, really forgave myself for, and B, I think that when you're obsessed with doing something and you can't quite do it, there's always like a piece of you that wonders like, well, how do those who do it do it? Yeah. And so when I wrote the book on quarterbacks, it wasn't a morass about my failure as a quarter. I wasn't trying to be the Alaska Uncle Rico here, but I was trying to look at like through the characters that I picked, both current ones and former quarterbacks, dead and alive. I wanted to show people what that unique American life and experience is like.
Yeah, cool stuff. One, I caught a 2-point conversion in high school.
Sweet.
My friends still talk about it. It
All
was
right.
amazing.
Are you sure it's your friends or is it you?
I bring it up every time I'm around these
Exactly.
guys. So
Okay.
I caught a 2-point conversion, ran it over there. I thought that I held it to the coach, and I was like, gonna put it in the jar, put it in the bucket like Emmitt Smith used to do.
Uh-huh.
He's like, Feeney, we need that for kickoff. I was like, but my buddy D Locke, he's a past podcast guest, threw me that touchdown or that 2-point conversion. Excuse me. But it changed my life. It's great. But
well, and when you become a quarterback, it's just fundamental. What position were you playing? Like tight end,
wide receiver,
yeah. So I mean, a quarterback is just a fundamentally different job than a receiver, than a point guard, than maybe like when you were playing center fielder for the Yankees when Mantle was there, it was different. But like, one of the things I want to get into in the book is how quarterback became such a lofty job where we ascribe so many responsibilities to it. Like when I was reporting the book, I was sitting with Steve Young, the Hall of Famer, who I love. A lot of great quarterbacks can't articulate quarterbacking well because they did it so naturally. Steve, it wasn't as natural for him, even though he was a first ballot Hall of Famer. And so he's great because he's this great kind of quarterback philosopher. And I asked him like, how many hats you have to wear as the starting quarterback for an NFL team. And he just starts rattling them off. Everything from, military general to matinee idol to amateur psychologist to breathtaking asshole to spokesperson for a multi-billion-dollar organization to he starts rattling and he gets to like, I think he stopped at 17. And, that's just fundamentally different than being a center for the Lakers. Like no other job really in American sports and maybe even global sports is like that. And so those are the things that I thought were so interesting because when you choose to be a quarterback, you're choosing to take on and you think you can take on all of those things. And that's why I think that the people who do it and do it at a high level, there's something fascinating to learn from them.
That's cool stuff. Now you wrote 3 books.
2.
Oh, Be on the Hill? Is that out?
So
that's on its way out?
Yeah. So my first book, and I believe it hadn't come out yet when I was number 7 on your pod.
Just number 7. It was Better to Be Feared.
It's Better to Be Feared. And that was about the New England Patriots dynasty. So that came out about a year after we did that pod. And then American Kings, my quarterback book, was my second. And I have a book coming out in September that's like a greatest hits. It's like it's a collection of my best ESPN work. Okay. I thought about naming it Cashing In Twice. But
yeah, there's 28 essays.
I think it's actually going to be 26 because one of them is a story that's not released yet, but and it's a big one, and I'm happy about that. It's going to be able to make it in the book. But we had to sub some out. But that comes out in September, and that'll be cool. And I'm kind of trying to wrap my head around how to talk about it because it's a greatest hits, and so you want to always come out and have something new to say. So I'm trying to think actively about how to do that.
Now, is it published and ready to go, or are you still working on it?
So it's in it's in the final stages. So I think that it ships to the publisher soon. Like I want to say the next week or two.
Because to know it's already coming out in September.
September.
We're currently in
May,
April,
almost.
May. That's okay. The old book writing process.
Yeah.
No, that Better to Be Feared was great.
Thank you.
Signed a copy for my friend Pags. He's a huge Patriots fan.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave him a copy. He was really thankful and grateful. So that was great. You did 100 interviews for that.
I
Bill,
did. Yeah, I did a lot.
Brady,
Bill's.
and
Yeah.
Robert.
Oh, you mean interviews for the book?
Yeah.
Rather, I thought you meant about the
For
book.
the book.
I probably did 100 for about the book too. But no, I did a ton. And the thing that was interesting about that project was that I'll just zoom back for a second. And so it was December of 99 and W.W. Norton came to me and they wanted me to do this book on the Patriots. And I had never done a book before. So that was atypical. The publisher was kind of coming to me. And I was hired at ESPN right out of college. And one of my very first big assignments was to go up to Foxborough. It was in November of 2001 and, do a story on this backup Tom Brady, who was doing well in relief of Drew Bledsoe and would probably go back to the bench when Bledsoe was healthy. And so my ESPN career, completely by luck, had kind of mirrored the Patriots dynasty.
Oh.
And so they thought I would be, and I had done stories that flattered the Patriots, stories that infuriated them, profiles, investigative pieces. And so I had a unique vantage point, I thought. And I was like, I can do this. And, I signed the contract and I had my idea of how I was going to report it. I was going to be traveling. I was going to be doing this. And it had the contract had a stipulation in it that if one of 3 events happened, the manuscript was due a year to the day after that event. So otherwise it was due in like 3
Can I
years.
guess?
Well, so it was
Super Bowl?
no.
So
it was if Brady, Belichick, or Kraft leave,
Okay.
or if they retired or left, or I don't think passed away was one of them, but I suppose that might have come up. But so anyway, I start reporting on the book. March of 2020 hits. The world shuts down. Nobody really knows what's going on or how long this thing's going to last or what this virus is. And a week after that, Brady announces he's leaving for the Bucs. And I'm like on the clock all of a sudden. And I was like, my entire game plan for how to do the book was completely thrown out the window. And I got to start moving on it. And so fortunately, I had kept almost all of my notes throughout the years. And when you do a book versus a magazine story, you see the material differently. You see it with age and context. And I was able to draw upon all of those experiences and do some interviews, even within the context of the pandemic. But so all told, yeah, it was probably around that. I forget how many exactly, but it sounds right.
Now, if you had a cut, start, or bench based on importance to the Patriots, cut them, start them, bench them.
Okay.
Brady, Bill, Robert Kraft. Who are you starting? Who's like the most important of those 3? Who's the least?
The quarterback.
Okay.
But the quarterback didn't come there as Dan Marino. You know what I mean? And so their success was all intertwined. And I think that you can't extract them from each other. What they were able to accomplish could have only been accomplished within that context. If Tom Brady had been drafted by the Arizona Cardinals in the 6th round and not the New England Patriots, he might have had a good career. There's no way he's the best quarterback ever. He and Belichick's careers intersected at a pivotal moment in their lives and their careers where they were spectacularly unhealthily but productively obsessed with being great in a game that frankly nobody can control. And Belichick had seen his first time as a head coach go up in flames with the Cleveland Browns experience. Brady had almost gone undrafted. And so they understood the fragility of it. And they were able, when they found each other and they were able to kind of make beautiful music together, only them could have taken it to the degree that they took it to. So it's like, I think that it's hard to say either or because it's always both in my opinion. And I can, we can spend an hour. I can tell you all the reasons why I think it's both and all of the things that Belichick did for Brady and all the things that Brady did for Belichick. And I think Kraft, I think that what makes a good owner of a sports team, it's a little hard to say. It's really easy to say what makes a bad owner. And he doesn't do the things that bad owners do. And I think that where Kraft really came in is I think that when Brady and Belichick's relationship started to fray, he was able to hold the band together in a way that like Jerry Jones couldn't. And they got some more Super Bowls out of that. And I think that that was a lot of because Robert Kraft trying to like keep this thing together as best he could. And I think that not a lot of owners could have done that.
All right. Good answer. Acceptable. How long was your chapter on Deflategate, Massagegate, or
Spygate?
Spygate.
Well, I thought Spygate was the most interesting because it was a cheating scandal that kind of played to, the Patriots won a certain way. I'm rereading Moneyball right now, and looking at it through the context, it's 20 some years old, and the Patriots were doing a lot of, I wouldn't say Moneyball things because it wasn't quite the same, but a lot of the philosophies that Billy Beane and Moneyball was trying to implement, Belichick was doing before that. And that was basically, he understood value relative to what he wanted, relative to his system, relative to his scheme, relative to what type of team he wanted to build, what type of team he could build, and what kind of money he could spend. He understood all that stuff in ways that were so far advanced than I would say any head coach still to this day.
Yeah.
And his game plans were so creative and so unique and original that the Patriots had developed this rep as kind of being smarter than everybody else. And Spygate was like the Enron scandal. It was like the smartest guys in the room. And so I always thought it was fascinating. That was by far and away the most fascinating. Then you have Goodell destroying the tapes and all the other owners being mad at him because he destroyed the evidence and they didn't know what was on them. And you had all this stuff. Deflategate was kind of silly, but it also spiraled into, an international scandal, which there's no other team in American sports that could have done that. Like only the New England Patriots could have taken something that is mundane as air pressure and footballs and had it blossom and bloom into this thing that really dominated the entire offseason after the 2015 season. It dominated the entire offseason. And, all of a sudden we're on TV talking about PSI levels. Like we have any idea what we're talking about, but you had to learn fast. And, those are those moments that you look back on and you're like, maybe as a culture, that wasn't our finest moment. But it was entertaining nonetheless.
That's good stuff. No. Yeah, we could talk about that book, but we got to go on to the next one too.
Okay.
American Kings, a biography of a quarterback.
The quarterback, not a quarterback. Because I was writing about, in a lot of ways, I was trying to write about all of them.
Got all of them. Who's the best quarterback ever, and why is it Eli Manning?
I was talking to my wife, Allison, today, and, she's she was a phenomenal athlete in high school. And she was the type of player who would kind of maybe not be as focused in practice, but in the critical moments, she always delivered, right? The coaches are always like, how can we get that for 60 minutes? But in the most critical moments, she always delivered. And we were talking about that. And I was like, oh, you were like Eli Manning. You don't hit every throw, but you hit the one that matters. I'm not sure she took it as a total compliment, but it was intended that way. So I think when you talk about quarterbacks, you cannot untangle the eras. Like it's just impossible. And so there's a context that matters. And I think that when you're looking at the early iterations of the forward pass, 1940s, 50s, into the 60s, you have to kind of, to me, I look at like Otto Graham, I look at Unitas. I look at Y.E. Tittle. I mean, Y.E. Tittle threw 36 touchdown passes in 12 games in 1962 with everyone diving at his knees and beating the hell out of his wide receivers. And that record stood until 1984 when Dan Marino broke it in 16 games. That's a phenomenal record.
Wow.
And speaking of New York Giants quarterbacks,
And then you had a sit down with him, right? Face to
Vinny,
face.
I really enjoyed getting to know him towards the end of his life, and he was a funny guy. He would say he had really bad dementia, and I don't think it was due to football. I think it was due to old age. But he was like 88, 89 years old, and his memory loop was very tight. And we would talk, and he'd be laughing. He'd say, I love this conversation. What's your name again? And I'd say, it's Seth Wickersham, sir. And he'd say, Seth Wickersham? Jesus Christ, that's almost as bad as Yelberton Abraham Tittle.
That's what the YA stands for.
YA. So I think that, like, you
Say that again. What's the YA?
Yelberton Abraham Tittle. Whoa. And so I think you have that group of guys. And then you have, the Roger Staubach, Terry Bradshaw types that come into play in the 70s. You've Namath in there too, who's obviously a big cultural figure, but maybe wasn't as consistent throughout his career as those guys. And then, the 80s hit, and you have Marino, Montana, and Elway. And you could make a lot of arguments who was the best out of that group. I tend to think Elway was, but, there's arguments to be made in every direction. And then, you have Favre and Kurt Warner, Troy Aikman, then come Brady and Manning and Rodgers and Mahomes. So, it's like those are the ones you're kind of working with, I think. I hope I haven't forgotten anybody, but Breeze. But, I think that, like, those are the collective you're working with. If you're, if Marty Schottenheimer had this one line where he said, if I had one game to win, I'd want Joe Montana. If I had one play, I'd want John Elway. So that's an interesting kind of way to look at them. If you had one game to win, you'd probably take Tom Brady. If you had one play, you'd probably take Elway, Rodgers, or Mahomes. I don't know. There's a great non-answer for you.
I like it. You said something really cool too.
Just one thing?
Yeah, just once. There's 16,000 high school quarterbacks.
Yeah.
About 800 college quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
32.
At the highest level of college, yeah.
Oh, that's right. NFL quarterbacks. Of the 32, 10 are good, and 3 are Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
And then there's just the dwindling and
the winnowing.
Yeah, it's crazy. I never
How do you survive that? I've always thought about that's the heart of my book. I mean, what does it take to go from one of 16,000 to go to one of 3? How do you do that? What does it build in you? What does it strip away? What things do you have to manufacture or indulge in that conspire against happiness when you're out of the game? A big part of my book was the afterlife for these guys. Like, what is it like having built yourself into a Hall of Fame quarterback, and then you have to live the rest of your life having been one? Is that compatible with everyday life? My answer was no. I think the evidence points to no. But again, going back to those things that Steve Young said, you have to build certain things within yourself to be a quarterback in the NFL and to survive that winnowing. I mean, you have to be really ruthless in a lot of regards, and selfish and irrational at times. And the biggest, the grown-up in the room and the biggest baby at other times. And, oh, by the way, you got to be able to make these throws. And so when I was writing the book, writing about these guys' life away from the game when they're retired and trying to, like, regain their footing and reinvent themselves, I thought that to me was among the most interesting parts of the book process that I experienced in doing it, because just because they retire doesn't mean that they're done being a quarterback. And I thought that just was really cool to explore.
Yeah, they end up in the booth or coaching or TV shows. Who knows? Yeah.
Well, Steve Young asked, so Roger Staubach was Steve Young's idol. Mm-hmm. And I mean, shit, I should have mentioned Young in there. You know what I mean? Like, but like, Steve asked Staubach, like, how do you do it? And Staubach was like, you have to run, don't walk. You have to run away from it. And if you look at Staubach, I mean, he completely reinvented himself. He is a phenomenal businessman in Texas. probably made more money than any great quarterback, I'm guessing. Maybe Brady's, well, Brady got divorced, so he lost. But like maybe Manning, Brady are creeping up to him. But like Roger Staubach has done phenomenally well. And, you know, that's what you have to do. You really have to like kill that person that you were when you make that type of life transition, because it's so all consuming. Like you don't play quarterback, you are one. And in that regard, it's very similar to being a politician, being maybe a pop star, where you kind of have to exist in your own orbit that may or may not have any connection to reality at times.
Yeah, you're the face of the franchise. If you win or lose, it falls on their shoulders. But that's crazy.
Yeah.
Does it compare? How's my analogy? Almost like a veteran that goes overseas to fight war and they have a tough time transitioning back to civilian life.
Well, you could speak to that a little bit more than me, but like I think that like that's I would hesitate to compare anything to war.
Okay.
Because I don't think you can compare anything to it. But I think that like anything that takes over your identity, and then you have to transition out of it, sometimes not on your timetable, you know? I think that like that there's an emptiness and a hole in that person's personality that's really difficult to fill. Like, you know, someday I'll have to, you know, I've been a writer my entire life. At some point, you know, maybe I have to figure out something else to do, or I want to do, you know, whatever it is. But it's like, you know, there is no separation between who these guys are and their work in that space. The pressure is too great. The adulation is too great. And like we said, going back, I mean, you know, from the moment you decide to be a quarterback, you embody a certain thing. You decide to take on all these responsibilities. And once you do it, there's really no turning back from it.
Now, how many quarterbacks did you interview?
Oh, I mean, you know, so again, it goes back to that thing where you're keeping your notes, but I didn't interview hundreds. It was more like I spent a lot of time researching. It's like, how do I pick my characters? Because I wanted it to feel big enough so that every quarterback, when they read it, whether it's Seth Wickersham, whose career ended in high school, or John Elway's, they feel like their experience is reflected in some way, even if it's not directly. So, I put together this document. I could just publish it, I suppose. Maybe people, but like I picked every Hall of Fame quarterback and every important quarterback in NFL history who didn't make the Hall of Fame, like Michael Vick. And then I picked same for college. And I looked at them and I just tried to, I wrote biography and character sketches for each of them to see what I was working with. And then I tried to pick the stories that either I was personally most interested in, or that you can't tell the story of the quarterback without telling it. So like Joe Namath, you know what I mean? He's such a cultural figure. You can't talk about quarterbacks without Johnny Unitas and Joe Namath. But, you know, someone like Bob Waterfield, who was really like, I mean, he was the precursor to Joe Namath, and he's a Hall of Fame quarterback, but not as many people are familiar with his story. He played in the 1940s, and he was married to Jane Russell, who was America's biggest pinup actress at the time. So you're talking about World War II America, Hollywood becoming a force, football becoming a cultural force. And, you know, here's this really good-looking quarterback who's the quarterback of the Rams, rookie year. Find a better rookie year than this. The guy wins Rookie of the Year, NFL MVP, and won a championship.
Jeez.
And then his wife, you know, is as big as Marilyn Monroe was. And maybe they weren't the first super or power couple in American history, but they were certainly the first in sports, and maybe the first quarterback. So, you know, he set the stage. He made quarterback glamorous in a lot of ways. And so those are the characters that I picked. Because, like, you know, people read the book and they're like, oh, you know, how come you didn't write about X? And, you know, like, I understand why Sammy Baugh is super important, but to the story that I wanted to tell, he wasn't as essential.
Who's Sammy Baugh?
Sammy Baugh was a great quarterback at TCU in the 1930s and 40s.
Okay.
Yeah. Slinging Sammy. And he played for Washington.
Gotcha. And then Waterford is not a name I'm familiar
Waterfield,
with.
yeah.
Waterfield.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, did you have like a favorite meet and greet with a player? Did you have a meet and greet that didn't go so well?
Most went well. I think so another thing I did with the book was try to look at what it's like to be a star quarterback in high school now, with an entire circuit of quarterback camps and passing camps and 7-on-7 and needing a quarterback coach and all of these things that are out there, and social media and NIL and all this stuff. So I really wanted to like get into that space. And I really enjoyed like a lot of the interviews I did were like sit down interviews, Q&As, but with some of the younger guys like Arch Manning or this kid Colin Hurley, who I wrote about.
Where's he?
He was at Michigan until I want to say 2-3 weeks ago. He went to LSU. He was a terrific high school quarterback.
So he's currently at LSU?
No, so he
Lane Kiffin?
Well, really quick. So just watching that space live and just sort of witnessing it and watching them in action was really, really cool. So Colin Hurley, what made him interesting to me is that he wanted to be kind of the most precocious quarterback ever. And so he was just on the fastest of the fast track. So he was so good in high school, and he was taking, he was homeschooled so that he was doing online classes so he could accelerate his learning. And he committed to LSU, I want to say he was 14 years old, and he entered LSU at age 16. And, that's a blessed and dangerous space. You know what I mean? Like, and the dad knew it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a scary thing to send your 16-year-old off to LSU where you're, there's a lot of ways your career can get derailed in an environment like that. And, that part of it was really interesting to me. His first year at LSU, he was second string as a 16, 17-year-old, which was amazing at LSU, for Christ's sake. I mean, that's an amazing feat. And then he was in a car accident. And it was towards the end of the book process. I was at Chipotle over by Wolcott. And a friend says, "Hey, is Colin Hurley still one of your characters?" I was like, "Yeah." My final scene with him in the book was...
That's him? Oh, gotcha.
My final scene with him was his parents dropping him off at the dorm. So I'd written the book writing to that scene, and then my friend says, "Hey, is Colin Hurley still one of your characters?" I said, "Yeah." And he sent me this link, and it was like LSU freshman quarterback in critical condition after car accident. I was like, "What?" So I got on a plane that day. I'm at LSU that night, and I'm on the ICU with him. And so thank God he survived. But he crashed his car into a tree, and it's amazing he survived. And so I think that it was hard for him to recover. He recovered physically, but I think there was an emotional component that was a little difficult for him. And he left LSU, he went to Michigan. And I think that, like, I don't know for sure, but I suspect that he's dealing with what a lot of, I think this is the flip side of specialization, of pressure on youth. This is your space, but I think he's burned out. Like, and I think that, like, it's a very human thing.
Yeah.
And, the pressure on being a young quarterback and being precocious and everyone telling you how great you are and that you're the next one, that's a lot. And even if like you love football, it's a lot to deal with. I mean, Andrew Luck, I spent a lot of time with him, and he struggled with that. And I mean, that was part of the reason why he retired, is because, like, number one, he didn't like who he was as a quarterback. He didn't like who he had become. And number two was because, like, he felt like that he had been on a character in someone else's story from the time he was a young age. Nobody did anything, but he just felt that way. And he wanted a chance to write his own story as, a 29-year-old.
Yeah, I just saw that Andrew Luck may have said he thought he retired too early. Did you see that or no? Did he ever say that? Is that true or false?
He didn't say that to me. I think he would say he retired too late. I think he would have retired a year earlier if I think there was a part of him that wanted him to part of him that wanted to retire actually earlier than he did.
Wow, that was a shocking retirement. The way it happened,
Huge
the way
shock.
they announced it, just the
Totally
timing.
everything. And I think that's what he regrets. I think he regrets. I mean, he told me I spent a ton of time with Andrew Luck, better part of a year for an ESPN magazine story, and he. Of all the things that I think he regrets, it's the timing of when he retired. Like, so he came back, he had all those injuries. He came back, he won comeback player of the year. They won a playoff game. I think they lost in Kansas City that year. The Colts did. So it would have been January of 19. And I think he wished he had retired right then. And instead he didn't. And,
Oh yeah, wasn't it right before the next season?
it was like 2 weeks before
That's
the
right.
season
That's
started.
right. Yeah,
and so I think he deeply regrets that he let the team down, let his teammates down.
Can you give us any teasers on the new book?
Well, it's a collection again, of my ESPN
Can you give us
work.
a couple stories? An essay?
Yeah, I mean,
that was good. Which one did you get?
Well, my YA Tittle story, I'm so proud of. Some of my investigative work on the NFL that I've done both myself and with my colleague Don Van Natta. That Luck story. There's a story, I spent the entire playoff run embedded with the Denver Broncos this past year, and I'd never done something like that. So I left Connecticut. Well, I was there when they found out that he was injured, and
the playoff game after
he
won. You were right there.
I was right there when the coach found out, and
because they would have won that following week,
no doubt.
right?
I don't think there's any doubt in my mind they would have beaten the Patriots with Bo
Oh,
Nix.
my.
I mean, they almost beat him with a guy who hadn't played all year,
Exactly.
and
I was rooting for the Broncos.
So I left, Connecticut. I went to Denver, and I was like, I come back when their season is, and I didn't know if it was 1 week, I didn't know if it was gonna be 2 weeks or through the Super Bowl, and I was in every meeting, every decision, every.
They just allow you in for the
Yeah, I have a good
meetings?
relationship with Sean Payton, and almost nothing was off the
Was he a
record.
quarterback?
He was,
Yeah.
and I just finished that story. It'll come out soon on ESPN, but that'll be part of the collection too, and I'm really happy about that.
You didn't put the third grade teacher that's undefeated at the Turkey Bowl up the street. No interceptions.
That should have.
You heard about
We
that?
still have time.
Okay.
We still have time. We
I'm
got to
13
hurry.
and 0. I'm my 13 years
Yeah.
at Wolcott. I've never lost a Turkey Bowl.
Yeah,
I destroy the fifth graders every year.
yeah.
I make all the teachers look good. I put passes in their
You
pocket,
and Browse.
in their pocket.
You and Browse
I have an
were
all-star tight end, all-American tight end. Just got elected to his high school Hall of
I
Fame.
saw that. Good for him.
Legit stats.
Good dude.
too.
Yeah, yeah.
Did your kid have him? Your oldest?
Maddie had Browse.
He did.
Yeah. So, and she, he's a great teacher, great dude. She had him at Wolcott and then at Sedgwick subsequently.
Yep.
But yeah,
Yeah.
great guy.
Yep. You can throw it anywhere. He'll catch it.
Yeah.
No, you had this guy Wright the forward, too. Tell us about Wright Thompson.
So Wright, yeah. So Wright, he's like, it's hard to describe what he is because he's like a best friend, a counselor, a confidant, an editor.
Oh, let me stop you. Because
A
our
wife,
motto,
you
our
know?
motto's be a good friend.
I mean, he's beyond a good friend.
What makes Wright Thompson a good friend?
Well, so I met Wright when I was in college. We were both sports writers at the Columbia, Missouri, and at University of Missouri. And he's from Mississippi. I'm from Alaska. It's not like we had a ton in common, but I think that we recognized in each other an ambition, and we both motivated each other, and we were competitive, but not like in a anything but a supportive way. Like, I don't think we ever. One thing that's been a blessing is that like neither of us look at this like a zero-sum game. So if he does well, it doesn't come at my expense. It really is. It's about him, not about me. And that's been a healthy part of our friendship. And he answers the phone at any time. He helps you with something at any time. He's there for you anytime you need him. And he also does shit that like are world-class pranks. I mean, I've pranked him pretty good, but years ago I did this story on Patrick Mahomes, and it was kind of his breakout year. And I had 2 sentences in this story about that he liked to put ketchup on steak, and he was embarrassed about putting his ketchup on steak because like people were paying attention to him all of a sudden. And so he would go to these steakhouses in Kansas City and be bashful about asking for ketchup because he was embarrassed about it. And so anyway, 2 sentences in a big story about Patrick. And that just took off. He
Yeah,
got an
yeah.
endorsement deal out of it. They were talking about, it just became like fodder. And I was like, if I had known that this was going to happen, I would have written more than 2 sentences about the frickin' ketchup. But so anyway, I want to say there was a Monday night game where the Chiefs played the Rams. It was a great Monday night game. It was like a shootout. And it was shortly after that story. And I was watching it, and a driver comes up, a delivery man comes up in our driveway, and he's taking all these boxes. And, we get stuff all the time. And so I'm not paying too close of attention to it, but I'm like, what is this guy doing? He's bringing a lot of stuff. Like, what is going on? It's like 10 boxes. I'm like, what is this, Christmas shopping that we're doing? I go and I get it, and they're all dressed to me, and they're all the same size. And I'm like, what is this? So I bring a box in and I open it, and it's ketchup packets. That was right.
I remember that.
He was like, he sent me 10,000 packets of ketchup.
I remember hearing about that. You
So
wrote about that. That's cool.
That's
being a good
does
friend.
that classify as like, what makes a good friend?
Right. I love it. And he wrote some really cool books.
Did you read Pappy Land?
I've read all of his books, and
Do you have a copy of Pappy Land?
I do. I have a couple.
Oh, can I borrow it?
You absolutely can.
Will he autograph a bottle of Pappy for me? Can you send me an autographed bottle of Pappy? Right?
So
or no?
if you have the bottle of Pappy, he'll autograph it. Getting people Pappy is like,
I've
that's
had a bottle.
You have.
South Main Wine and Liquor right here on the
Okay.
corner got it for me. My guy Rinku.
All right.
Pappy's delicious. But no, I'm really interested in this book, and then Emmett Till.
Yeah.
I'm interested in that one too.
Yeah.
The Barn.
Well, and Emmett Till as an educator, I mean, you'd enjoy that because he grew up in Mississippi, and
So he's
he
first-hand take, right?
well, no, but I mean, he should have been. But he grew up in Mississippi. He had no idea throughout his entire education that the landmark event that really started the civil rights movement happened, I want to say 20 miles from where he lived. They never taught it.
Ooh,
And, that was
give me chills. That's terrible.
that was so the book was not only about Emmett Till and all the events that led to his horrific murder, but it was also about like people trying to erase facts and events and look past them and the problems when we end up doing
Yeah.
that.
That's terrible. And in Mississippi, I'm surprised he knows how to write books because
No. Dude,
it's
there's a
ranked
lot.
like 48th of education.
Yeah,
in
I mean,
the
I think
United
you have to
States.
read the readers who come out of Mississippi.
And then The Cost of Dreams.
Cost of These Dreams. So that was his collection.
book.
That was his greatest hits. And so that came out a while ago. And I mean, frankly, he could do another one now. I don't know if he will or not, but he's
Does he
done
come to
it.
Connecticut?
Every now and then. It's been a minute since he's been here, but yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And then The Best American Sports Writing in 2015.
Well, he was the editor for that. So that's an anthology that's like, it comes out every year. It started in the 90s.
Oh, gotcha.
And I think he was the guest editor for it that year. And
So
so,
did you call him Ray or Wright?
right.
Right. Oh, it
And
is
so one of the one of the cool things about our friendship has been, when we were in college, the Best American Sports Writing Anthology came out. And it's like, how do you ever write a story that could even be considered for that? And then to kind of like almost be part of the establishment of that group is a cool thing.
Is he employed by ESPN
Yeah,
as well?
of course, yeah.
And did he go to Ole Miss or did he go to Mississippi?
Mizzou.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the same place you went to.
Mhm.
My bad. Yep. Wow, that's cool. Yeah, I want to meet this guy. I definitely want to read this book, Pappy Land, because I love anything Pappy. I've watched the whole Netflix special. They were stealing it. Did you see that at Buffalo Trace? They were
yeah.
stealing them and selling them to like doctors, and the governor got involved. I don't know,
Yeah.
it was a great little Netflix special. So Pappy, and then I got to taste it. So that's cool. Oh, you mentioned ketchup. I knew that story, so that was
Mhm.
hilarious. But I didn't know who sent you the ketchup.
was
'cause
right.
That followed up and it was huge.
Yeah.
Actually, I may have talked to you.
About it the last time?
Yeah, woke it. No, maybe not on episode 7. Maybe after that, because it was
Yeah.
after that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we talked to Wolkett at one of those
Oh
days.
yeah, it was hilarious. Any other fun things or pranks you've gotten from someone else, or?
I'm usually the one doing the pranking, but I can't. Nothing's coming to mind. But that was a pretty good one. I mean,
And I got some inside source, confirm or deny. I heard you're a big fan of onions. What's your take on onions?
my God, you got that from Mascardi, didn't you? I hate onions. I hate them. I don't.
It's actually his daughter. today at school because
Oh my
Matt,
God.
I text him, I go,
Yeah.
Seth's coming on. Give me something good. Nothing. Crickets, Matt.
Of course.
Thanks for being a good friend.
Thanks,
You're my
Matt.
previous podcast guest.
Yeah.
So I go to his daughter. I'm like, hey, give me something about Mr. Wickersham.
That's hilarious. The one thing that she would.
He hates
It's
onions.
totally. I hate them. Absolutely hate them.
My
And my
bu-
wife loves them. That's
Ooh.
occasionally causes some issues.
My buddy Brian we would throw an onion at him. He'd be like, are you like that too? No?
I don't see a need for their existence in this earth.
Oh, that's funny. Onions. Oh, you work for ESPN. I want to plug ESPN.
I love it.
If you work for Disney Volunteers, Friends of Feeney's on the list
Mhm.
where you can donate some of your paycheck or something, and Disney
I think
matches
I
it.
think I started that.
You did that.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
My pleasure. I'm glad it worked.
Yeah, it was amazing. Thank you for your very generous donation. You are our celebrity server at Rita's. Let's show a picture of you serving at Rita's. That's two
That was fun.
down. And then you are our special guest raffle caller at our first annual golf tournament. Right here. Calling the raffle.
In this economy, you got to be able to do it all, right?
Yeah. You know,
Multiple
you're like a
gigs.
quarterback. You got the face to
Exactly.
do it all. So I just want to shout out, will you come for our 5th annual golf tournament? It's at Tunxus,
No, because I'm going to be traveling that day, but I'll be there in spirit.
September 12th. Wait, is it football season? you
Yeah,
going?
it's right. Well, my collection comes out right after that, and so I'm going to be traveling, but I'll be there in spirit.
Nice. No, thank you for doing that.
My pleasure, man.
Thank you for being here. You're a good friend. Yeah, we got to get you Feeney turkey bowl. Best stats ever.
I'll play. You
Ooh.
just tell me when. I'll be there.
No, I need you taking notes and video and put it on
No, I got to
ESPN.
get out there. I've written enough. You know, Jim Harbaugh, quarterback, when you played quarterback, they used to have this thing called the quarterback challenge in Hawaii, which is
yeah.
like you throw at these targets. It's
Yep.
a really cool thing. But the other guys would be out at the bar and they would look and they'd see Harbaugh in the parking lot, like preparing for the next day. That would be me playing for the Turkey Bowl.
I think he had the longest throw. He had a really good arm.
He was
One of
terrific.
them, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and you have a yard sign in your yard,
Yeah.
so thank you.
My pleasure.
And I got to shout out some sponsors, and I want to shout out our host today. We're here at Golf Tech. Go back and check it out. Dave at Golf Tech. You come down on New Britain Ave and get a golf balls. Look at those Friends of Feeney golf balls for only $5. It's a fundraiser going on. Golf Tech will be doing our holes. So at hole 1, they time your hole and they give you the stats, how far you swung, how fast you swung, the direction. So Dave's doing that for our golf tournament. Dave, come on over. Dave. Instagram, check it out. Coming soon. If not out already, we did it. Hey.
Come check out the golf tournament. I'm going to be out there analyzing swings. We'll make you a little bit better out there, and hopefully you can have some fun as well.
And come down and get some balls. But again, he's going to test your swing, your accuracy, your rotation, your axis, right? You do all that good stuff.
We do all that. Yep, we'll analyze. We'll look at the stick figure. We'll see what you're doing with your swing plane. Just analyze everything that's happening during the motion. So make sure we know what the club and the ball are doing. Give you a better story of how to make changes.
Tell us a little bit about Golf Tech.
So Golf Tech, we are the leader in golf instruction. We use high-speed cameras. We use motion sensors, all the coolest tech to make people get better. We'll measure up the swing just kind of like a doctor, learn where you're at right now, and then we can make adjustments based on what we see. So we don't try to guess. We try to measure and know exactly where you stand and how to make those adjustments. So it's the best way to learn. It's a way to make the fastest changes you can make.
And take it from me, third grade teacher extraordinaire. Dave is a teacher as well. He's a wonderful teacher. He knows to turn your weaknesses into strengths. He gives you data. He gives you specific feedback.
Thank you, Feeney.
Makes me really good. I'm a great golfer now.
Appreciate
after
that. It
Golf
means a lot
Tech,
from a teacher.
right? Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate you.
We're gonna maybe get some swings of me. Can we get some swings? Can I
Sure,
get some
let's do it.
chops?
Yeah.
All right. I want to thank Direct Line Media, Stefania and Dave, Float 41, Fix IV, Luna Pizza, Brook Golf Law Group, People's Bank, Keating Agency Insurance, Parkville Market, the JCC, and West Hartford Lock. So with West Hartford Lock, what are 3 keys that make you a good rider?
All right. I'm diligent. Like I show up, I sit, I don't procrastinate a lot. I think writer's block is kind of one of these things that it's, I'm not saying it's real, but you kind of just have to move past it because you're never going to get over it. You just have to start writing and create words and deal with them.
Okay.
You know, as a journalist, I think I'm a good listener. And, you know, I think that like, you know, again, I think that, it's another key. Do I have one?
Good listening. That comes up a lot. And then writer's block. I've been trying to write a book.
Okay.
I met Manute Bull.
Okay.
I want to do My Friend Manute.
Okay.
I met him at Conard.
Uh-huh.
He did Sunrise, Sudan.
People don't understand he lived here. That's
He
the
lived in
funniest
West
thing.
Hartford.
Yeah.
He walked by the corner pug.
Yeah.
His kid went to Bugby.
Uh-huh.
Bo, the one that's in the NBA, went to Bugby. So it's such an inspiration. He gave back. And can you help me? Give me some ideas? Because I have writer's block. I want to do a kid's book. But again, you just got to get in the front of the computer.
Yeah, you just got to
put
write.
words to paper.
You know, you got to, I mean, that's literally it. You have a blank screen, you have to fill it. And if it's filled with shitty words, it's okay. You can come back and make them better. But you have to get them on the page to begin with. And, you know, I love Bruce Springsteen, and he did a box set for the Darkness on the Edge of Town album, and in it he included a replica notebook of what he wrote the album in. And, you know, Darkness is one of his best written albums, and you look at the notebook and you're like, oh my God, this is horrible. Remember there's like that column in Us Weekly, Stars, They're Just Like Us? You're like, you know, Bruce Springsteen is just like me, because he uses these songs that go on for pages and pages and are full of cliches and are horrible. And he writes until he finds that one line and he circles it. And then maybe he puts it in a different song, or he starts off from there, whatever it is. But it was a great like affirmation of the creative process. And you just have to be diligent about sitting down and writing, because that's the only way you're going to get there. The only way is through.
All right. You inspired me. I'm going to go home and write about Manute Bull.
Sounds good.
Some upcoming events. Again, we just mentioned our September 12th is our Be a Good Friend golf tournament. We have a Blues game. It's a Sunday, June 14th. We have a Yard Goats game, August 14th. Lux Bond and Green on June 18th. It's a Thursday. We'll have a happy hour specials down there, snacks. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure, man.
Any closing remarks, recommendations?
I'll be here, another 162 guests. I'll be right back.
All right, deal. Yeah, you come on the show anytime. Oh, what are you doing tomorrow? Who are you going to see tomorrow? You want to mention that? You're going to be in...
Yeah, I mean, if it comes out before then. But yeah, I'm doing an event at RJ Julia in Middletown with my buddy Tom Junot. He wrote a great book, in the days of my youth, I was told what it takes
to be a man.
To be a man, the Led Zeppelin song, the Led Zeppelin lyric. And I loved reading his book, and I love being a friend. He's one of the best, you know, journalists in history, and I'm really excited about that. 6:00 tomorrow.
Yeah, so cool that he wrote that famous article about Mr. Rogers.
He did.
Mr. Rogers is an idol of mine, so we marched in the parade. We made a Mr. Rogers trolley for the Park Road Parade. We had Friends of Feeney shirts with the cardigan, so just an idol. And hopefully I get the chance to meet Tom, but if not, an amazing human being, just like you. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure, man.
But let's see, be a good friend on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Be a good friend.
Physics. It's going to be good video.
Physics, we'll see.
Went at Golf Tech. Thank you for our
I've
host
seen,
today.
Hey, look at right behind you. I don't know how that happened, but that's there. So,
What, the
look
stuff?
at the golf ball wall. Yeah, look.
Oh.
Who did that? You don't know?
I don't
No one
know.
told
I
you?
really don't want to know how that happened.
No one was like, hey, by the way. Oh, my
Nope.
God. Real nice.
Yep.
All right. Golf Tech. This is no warm-up. I do a little warm-up. Okay. September 12th.
Swing brought to you by Golf Tech.
Yes. To go straight, it's all hit.
That's right.
If it doesn't, terrible.
He needs more help.
Ready.
Not bad.
Oh, could not
That's
process.
all right. Yeah.
That was
It's okay. That
too
was
low.
Yeah, it was maybe a little low. That's all right. Let's try one more.
Felt good though.
Yeah.
Sounded good. Golf Tech, take 2. It's a good club. I have to buy this club. Oh, low again. Oh, there we go. All right, what do we got? Come on. 130. That's not good as a driver.
Gotta get it up in the air a little bit more. So put it off your left foot. on your front foot a little bit more. Yep. So you can hit more up on.
I gotcha. Hear that advice? More on the left foot. We're gonna get Stefan to take a swing too. Just the left foot. Still low. Better though. Better. All right, come on. Third time's the charm. Left foot.
Make sure that club face is aiming nice and straight too. It's a little bit left.
Ah. I see you. Oh yeah, that's the one.
There you go.
200. 200.
Close.
You getting that, Stefania?
Mm-hmm.
180. All right, we get a 200. Yeah. Oh, can you zoom on the kicks? Your Air Jordans. These are rare Jordans. You know? It's not how
What
good you
model are
play.
they?
It's not how good. These are Jordan 4s.
Jordan 4s.
It's not how good you play. It's how good you look. I got Jordan golf cleats too.
Those things are nice.
All right, ready.
Watch that club face. Make sure it's straight.
Straight. Oh, here we go. That's the one. That's the one. 200. A lot of curve on that.
Not a curve on that. Kind of evened out.
All right, a couple more. That's fine. You want to get one on camera? Show us how it's done.
Sure.
Okay, sure.
All right, all
Oh,
of
is
you
it me?
guys. Yeah,
Oh.
you. Just to get, we'll get range. So I could be average. You know, you gotta have Stefania here, Dave up here. I just need to
Want me to do my long driver swing?
Yeah. Here we go. Come on. 200.
Oh, yeah. You're too damn tall for our place.
Here we go.
That's too good.
Let's go. Let's go. Keep it going. Keep it going. 207. 207. Tell the camera. Tell the camera.
I don't play golf. Can't see me.
First time in front of the camera. Feeney talks with friends. Stefania, let's go.
Yep. I don't play golf, but it's, see how it goes.
So bring your left shoulder down, then your right shoulder down.
On the swing?
Yep. So just tilt your left shoulder under your chin.
So if I just do...
Yep.
Do all the way back? How does
If
it-
you want, yeah, as far back as you want to go, but you want to feel like you're bringing your left shoulder, kind of aiming at the ball as you turn. There you
Oh,
go.
I see
Good.
like
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Mm.
There you
And
go.
then-
Yep. So it's like right shoulder, or sorry, left, and then the right. You okay?
All right. All right.
Wait, I want to redo.
All right.
Redo.
Pull your left. Why don't you try to get your hands closer together? There you go. Perfect. And then this hand turn a little more on top of the grip like that. There you go. And let me hold up. Let me bring it to you. Yeah, that's probably nice. There we go. All right.
Oh.
Okay, that's all right.
Oh.
You want to do one more?
I'll do one more.
Keep your eye on the ball too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
You got it.
Pretty good at mini golf.
There you go. So just pretend like you're hitting a straight putt. Go back and through nice and straight.
Come on, you got it.
Eye on the ball.
Yep. Be the ball.
There you
Here we go.
Nice job. Nice job.
I hit the screen.
Hit the screen.
Good job.
Oh,
There you go.
okay.
Yep.
Alright. Oh, that's why I have
Yeah.
We'll see if that changes.
Hands closer.
Yep. Hands down.
Oh, that's a stroke.
Yep. We golf, got it in the bag.
Okay. Okay. I like
All
it.
right.
Yeah.
Make
Good contact. Look. Oh, you. It's red on the screen.
Oh, I made contact. 15 yards.
Let's go.
Oh, let's go.
15. Crushed it.
Pick it up.
Put a hole in it. I don't know if the screen did the screen. Did you have to click something over here?
Should have picked it up. Try it then.
Getting missiles. Missile straight.
Go. Go.
Too long. I got under that one a little bit.
257. Like a dart. Rushing it.
I'm trying to think how the ball ended up over there.
I don't need exactly.
All right, 12 Tech, Britain Avenue. Come check them out.
At the friends of Feeney.